Hello and good day, friends. How are you? Today I'm doing another build in The Sims 4. This time it's a commercial lot. We're in Preeminent Domain in the Commercial Magnolia Promenade District. The bi-weekly build challenge on the Sims subreddit started up again this past week, and I thought we'd get a jump on the entry. I may even submit it for judging because this week's rules are really simple. Week number 88, Wedding Venues and Chapels, Las Vegas edition. Now I'm just going to read this off of the post, and I warn you there are a couple of run-on sentences. Love is in the air. It always is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Known as the marriage capital of the world because of the ease of acquiring a marriage license and the minimal costs involved, it continues to be known as a popular wedding destination for the same reasons, but also as a result of the various types of weddings available. The majority of the newer wedding chapels are located on the Las Vegas Strip. Many offer themed weddings. Common themes include Hawaiian, fairy tale, Star Trek, Star Wars, Gothic, Halloween, and weddings with an Elvis impersonator or Michael Jackson impersonator. Drive-through weddings are also available. Key elements: small, freestanding one-room chapels, colorful and dated decoration, bright lights, must be commercial, no apartments, and fully functional. Tip: consider using cheats to unlock, debug / hidden items and to place objects more freely. So if you'd like to join in on the bi-weekly build fun, the challenge closes by 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 15th. I'll leave a link to the Reddit post in the description below the video so you'll have all the info to share your creation, and I'd love to see what you come up with, so leave me a comment if you decide to participate. Now, if you enjoy Sims house builds, you're in the right place because I do like making them, and if you want to see more, please doink the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And if you want to say in what I build and the style in which I build it, whether it's a straight-up speed build or one of the more chatty commentary whilst building videos, then leave a comment down below. And I know you guys like hearing me mutter to myself while I build. Don't think I didn't notice the numbers going up on those videos, but I do. I do. If it's the term minion you object to, and if you stay to see the end card way at the very end of the video, you'll know what I mean. I'm open to renaming my group of subscribers. Just leave a comment down below. The term minion has less to do with being an evil villain or trying to build a secret society to take over the earth than it is a reference to my years in tech. I'd often have to delegate work to some of the people I worked with, and ones who were the most capable and reliable became, well, minions. As in, can you get one of your minions to give this customer a call back and walk them through this extremely convoluted and arcane process? You betcha, I got a minion for that. But now that I think about it, taking over the world does have its appeal, so if you're of a like mind and would like to be one of my highly capable crack squad of serious sidekicks, I'll gladly take you along for the ride. Unfortunately, the husbeast is already called Shotgun, so you'll have to share space in the back of the SUV with the cat, and she's somewhat ill-tempered, but if you give her enough TREATS, she'll tolerate you just fine. No, we're not leaving her behind. We need her to get past the man. She's our secret weapon, you know, cat pictures. You can do anything with enough cat pictures. Well, we managed to get ourselves nicely off topic there, didn't we? When I was thinking about these themes for a Vegas-style wedding chapel, of course, Elvis was the first name to pop into my head. Of course, it wasn't because his name was in the write-up. It was a purely organic thing. Unfortunately, I don't think The Sims has done a Vegas King style match of any sort. I grew up mostly in the 80s and was a young adult in the 90s, so a lot of people were still talking about Elvis, how he'd faked his death, which I don't really think he did. I think we'd know by now if that was the case, or how the music would never be the same. I couldn't tell you about that. In my experience, pretty much every generation does not like the next generation's music. And I'm being honest here, my grandfather considered everything past 1945 to be, and I quote, booma booma music. I've been trying to pin down my father's music, and I don't think he's liked anything since Barry Manilow was big in the 1970s. I guess it's like people of my generation looking back on Kurt Cobain or Lane Staley and telling our Zoomers all about how wonderful they were, even though they had a lot of issues that they tried to solve with substance abuse and don't do drugs, kids. It's kind of funny, but because I grew up with Elvis being such a big meme, I'm kind of surprised he isn't in the current iteration of The Sims. A lot of the original developers who are still with the team are around my age or older, so I'm kind of flabbergasted that there isn't an Elvis-style flight suit in the menswear, or maybe there is and I'm just blind. I have no clue. But because there is a distinct lack of Elvis in the game as it stands, I took a look at the styles of furniture that were available, and, well, someone pointed out that there's quite a lot of mid-century modern stuff in the game. Not sure who it was, but it was definitely on people's minds, what with tiny living and all that. So I smushed that together with the bowling night stuff pack and came up with this, a themed destination bowling alley wedding chapel. My backstory for Lovers Lanes is that, once upon a time, Bernie and Etta ran the local bowling joint. Sure, there was little competition from the roller rink down the way in the late 70s and the early 80s, particularly when that odd Xanadu movie came out, but it wasn't something they couldn't handle. And then video games came on the scene, and at first it was fine. The arcade kinda went the same way as the roller rink, and Bernie and Etta had their regular league players. But then came the LAN parties and the raiding by those Warcraft kids, and soon the old folks were just having a hard time getting their kids to come bowling. And the kids weren't bringing the grandkids for bowling birthdays, so what were they to do? Well, sometimes life hands you lemons and you just have to make lemonade. Bernie and Etta's kid, Jordan, was working the counter one night when a really odd gentleman comes in and he refuses to rent a pair of shoes. He takes a really long look at the furniture and the display cases in the front lobby and attempts to sneak back into the bowling alley without paying for a lane. Shh! I'm trying to tell you stories while decorating a bathroom. It's going well so far. Intrigued, Jordan follows when the guy leaves and manages to overhear a cell conversation about how the place would be an easy flip on the market once the owners get tired of running a straight-up bowling alley. The bylaw changes they're lobbying for in Magnolia Promenade would be perfect for a theme wedding joint, and the Bowlerdrome already had all the decor they'd ever need, right down to the plated bowling trophies. Well, Jordan takes that information back to Mom and Dad and convinces them to use the college fund as a startup investment in the family chapel business, and, well, Bob's your uncle. Of course, all this is a little scenario in my head, so I don't know who the mysterious person is who wanted to buy up the business. I have a feeling, though, that Bernie and Etta live happily ever after, probably retiring to a nice small home in Sulani. And I suspect that Jordan is still making investments, possibly karaoke. They strike me as the karaoke type. So what we've got at the end of that nice little story is Lovers Lanes, formerly Bernie and Etta's Bowlerdrome. It's an all-in-one wedding venue and caters to everything from quickie weddings to abbreviated wedding receptions. On the left, we have bowling lanes for the bride and groom and their parties or their families. Down the center, a more than generous seating area, at least for Sim Vegas, with fully decorated wedding arch. Flowers are, of course, courtesy McDonald's Funeral and Flowers, located conveniently within walking distance of the venue. True story, a funeral home in Calgary also houses a florist, and I have seen signs that, when read aloud, come out sounding something like, "McDonald's Funeral Home and Flowers, get them the graduation gift they'll remember forever." I have to laugh every time I see it, and no, the name of the funeral home isn't McDonald. I'm Canadian. In some parts of this country, McDonald is a bit like Smith. It's everywhere. Anyhow, we have a generous 3-table buffet, and the wedding party can choose to sit at the stylish and comfortable booths or at one of the period mid-century tables. You haven't seen Formica like this since 1962. It really takes advantage of the chrome and lucite trimmings. To the left, we have an open dance floor and bar. Now, I forgot to place a stereo, but an old-fashioned jukebox would look really spiffy in there. The front of house has all the shoe sizes you'll ever need, and past league trophies are on display. For an added fee, you can have Etta's golden bowling ball as your table centerpiece. And if you manage to bowl a perfect 300 game, Bernie will pay the 10 simoleons for your marriage license himself. Fun fact, My computer autocorrects simoleons as simpletons, and it's made for some really interesting moments when I'm making notes for myself. Finally, you can have your wedding pictures taken under the vintage Boulerdrome sign. For a very small fee, you can have your Polaroids taken by the light of the neon pins. Lovers' lanes, where even a gutter ball wedding can be a strike. And there's a reason why I didn't go into marketing copy, guys. A very, very obvious reason. Now, I do hope that you enjoy this build, folks. I mean, whether it's just the video or whether it's the property itself, I had a lot of fun making it. I have no idea if it actually works in practice because I think this is probably the first one that I've ever made, or at least, unleashed on the public, as it were. It's a general lot type, and the traits that I chose were romantic aura, party place, and convivial. So hopefully you'll have a good time when you come to the old Boulerdrome to get your wedding on. The next step, of course, is going to be play testing this bad boy, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll take one of my Sims in and give it a whirl. Don't have anybody who's ready to get married yet, though. Guess that's something we're going to have to work on. Anyhow, the cat has woken up and she is begging for treats, which means it's time for her to get some lunch. So that's what I'm going to do. And how about you? Comment. Let me know how things are going and what you'd like to see. Maybe like the video, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.